interesting. I imagine this is going to be on the Annihilation Gang, considering the fire, but hey, could be wrong.
Anacone, planet of
Okay,
festivities.
yes. Yes, it
a
is.
Cradle drowning in dreams.
Still neat his name is a freak.
The
Wonder if
family
he's
has
gonna be
summoned
playable.
guests for its grand celebration. The golden blood will flow from the destruction as an offering to them.
Well, that's
Children
imagery,
of
alright.
flame, This marks your rite of passage. Akash, I lit a fire
Bloody hell,
in your
alright.
eyes and showed you music of the strings. Serenade the celebration and hush the harmony into muted awe.
It will be done, Father.
Dubra, I set your
A lot of
form alight
imagery
and
here for
taught you
religion.
mastery
Oh,
of
that's
the
a
blade.
cool image.
Temper it with sulfur, made the elation, and let the performer's blood and tears pour into the abyss.
As you wish, Father.
Katerina, I kindled a flame in your heart and granted you blood of fire. Use your wrath to shatter the preservation sanctum and build their gold to create a statue of our savior.
You got it, old man.
No, man.
And Constance at last. My most ambitious and exceptional child. There is nothing more to teach you. Just remember, without Pelicone's midnight hour, strip away all they hold dear, and leave naught but the remembrances too.
Oh.
She
Interesting.
won't be necessary. I can take them alone.
Katerina, a little pessimism might be wise.
Okay, woman from the thumbnail.
What if we all end up dead?
Fun.
Since when have those on the path of destruction feared death?
Still, it is wise to plan ahead, Father.
What the? Whoa. Okay,
What
that's
is our fallback
so
if things become
cool.
perilous?
Fall back. Such a thing does not exist. Destruction is brave and heroic. To cling to life is to delay in cowardice.
So is the child an actual puppet, or is that like an actual child?
Its invitation.
'Cause it looks like the
Prepare this
creature's
beautiful
using them as a
dream to
puppet.
welcome its new master from Fedora.
Good luck with that.
Duke Inferno, Everflame Mansion.
Nice.
Use your wrath to shatter the
So-
preservation sanctum.
So we've got the ram that's sacrificial, so obviously something that was used in both religious rites as, like, we're not talking purely Christian here. There are multiple religions that included the sacrifice of an animal. But Satanism tends to revolve around the sacrifice of a ram or a goat. Or a lamb, more specifically, usually a lamb. The eyes with the rings, I'm pretty sure that represents wheels, which are a type of, like, angelic thing. Which is really cool. The eye being burst out and the destruction of the ring makes me feel like he's trying to destroy it. And then, of course, the fruit being the fruit of knowledge from the Garden of Eden. Interesting that they gave it a spine on the inside. Very neat imagery to actually see. And then the cogs, I'm not entirely sure if it's meant to symbolize much of anything. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure this is a... Is that a chrysanthemum? Or am I like, I'm Googling the flower now because I'm curious what it is. I'm just gonna double check if it is or isn't a chrysanthemum. It looks like one. It looks like one. So I'm going to assume it's a chrysanthemum because it looks like one. Glad to see that I have a decent knowledge of flowers, I guess. But I'm pretty sure they can mean death. which is why I found it interesting. It's like they're used for mourning. But I don't know if it's specific colours or if it's just all of them. But either way, the idea is that a chrysanthemum is used to represent death, which makes a lot of sense in the case of these nutcases to use it.
Most ambitious and exceptional.
And it to be on fire, too. But yeah, I'm sure that the community is going to go wild over you. This woman has
Pessimism might
a
be
vibe.
wise.
Also, those
What if
horns,
we all
or is
end
it
up
just her
dead?
outfit? Like, she has a tail as well, so we're actually seeing unique species, which is quite nice, since... The assumption is, in the case of a lot of aliens, is they take a more humanoid form to interact with other species. There's not really evidence to suggest this, it just makes sense. I want to actually see more entities. It's like, in the case of Duke Inferno, we see he looks purely human, but then we see other entities like this, which appear humanoid, but have traits of something else. It's like, there's no reason that they'd be just straight up people with horns and stuff. That's not... because it wouldn't serve a purpose at all within the species. Normally, evolution and adaptations take place because they're functional changes for the species. Meanwhile, evolution is when enough of them have occurred where it counts as something totally different. Or at least different enough.
Since when have those on the path of destruction feared death?
Meanwhile, this guy's just a normal dude.
Still,
This
it
is
wise
interesting
to
as
plan
hell.
ahead, Father.
Because look at the eyes and how unresponsive. Like, it makes me feel like either the child is just a puppet itself, or it's an actual child being possessed. And either way is very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they integrate that in-game.
What is
Like,
our
look at
fallback
that.
if things become perilous?
Totally inhuman. Love it. Makes me feel a lot better.
Fall back. Such a thing does not exist. Destruction is brave and heroic.
But yeah, neat to see all of the Destruction Gang, or at least all the significant members of it. Interesting they're aiming on making Penacony fall, because I can't imagine that going... It's one, they're aiming for the opposite of the Aeon there, which, you know, the idea of harmony, and they also absorbed order too. So there's no way that they're gonna be cool with it, really. And at the very least, I'd assume that we're going to come across an emanator of harmony. There's a chance there might be others there, considering this is an important gathering. And if so, hell yeah, why are you going to show yourself up in front of all of them? Either way, very fun, very cool Myriad Celestia trailer. Looking forward to seeing what comes of this mess. I am just looking forward to next patch, but I'm also glad that I have the opportunity to save, because Lord knows that if Black Swan ends up being good, I'm going to have to get her, because it'll make my Kafka better, and then I really want Acheron on a guarantee. So, and her light cone when she comes, because even if it's not optimum, why wouldn't I? So yeah, there's that. Looking forward to all of this cool stuff. What a shot, man. This guy is just vibing. But it's nice to see more inhuman entities, because normally the main example we get of them existing is written. So this guy was the first one to actually show us, outside of like wubbaboos and stuff, inhuman creatures that are just roaming around, like not even remotely like people anymore. Because obviously the Vidyard are kind of counter, so do the Foxians, but they're mostly humanoid. Meanwhile here we have something completely out of that ballpark, and it's very cool. Makes me wonder how they physically even work, considering the parts that are visible is just all fabric. I assume that their body is either invisible or like something's going on with them. Obviously Heliobus count as well, but the main examples we see of them being physically really, really interesting is in the Lycoons involving Tail, where it shows him as an actual, like, big spectral, like, fox/wolf thing, which is really cool. But yeah, the community's gonna go down bad for you, unfortunately, which is gonna be awkward. And probably you.